Committed singers, they create growth through joy, not just discipline. So let me ask you this question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much fun and joy did you experience in your last vocal training practice? This is not a rhetorical question. I'm actually really curious. And let's talk about this concept of incorporating fun and joy within your practice instead of pushing through and discipline, and why one might take yourself down in your vocal practice while the other might actually lift you up. Let's dive into it. Hi, my name is Maggie. I'm the founder of the Singing Insiders, in which I help passionate singers and performers actually sing in public without feeling self-conscious. And in these episodes, you're going to get practical tips, exercises, insights all around singing to help you up-level your singing skills. So let's talk about this concept of joy and fun when we're singing. See, most singers, especially the committed singers who want to improve, who want to, the singers that value singing, the singers that value performing, these people will oftentimes have a regular vocal practice. And I see that with the singers that we work with in the Singing Insiders. The ones that are very committed, they're using our practice plan on a regular basis. We even have one of our ambassadors, he practices for 2 hours every day. In the weekdays, not the weekends. I mean, that is just crazy, right? How committed can you be? So I'm talking about those types of singers, and maybe that's you. I'm not saying that you have to practice 2 hours a day, but I am saying the singers that are committed to their vocal practice and want to grow, they will oftentimes come back to this idea of discipline and pushing yourself to move forward in the practice. Those types of singers will oftentimes force themselves to just get it done instead of be driven by passion. And by forcing yourself to get this practice done, sometimes that might cause your little inner fire and passion for singing to lessen. And that would be very, very sad, right? So imagine a future where every singer begins their practice with one question. And that question is, what do I want? Or what would bring me joy in today's practice? So this is where your curiosity becomes your compass. Instead of starting your practice as usual with your vocal warm-up and then focusing on vocal technique and then putting that into repertoire, what if you could ask yourself, what do I actually want to do today? What would bring me joy? And maybe one day, what brings you joy is doing that deep vocal technique work and really mastering your mixed voice or working on breath support, all those things. But maybe on some days, all that mixed voice work is just so frustrating to you because you don't seem like you're making progress, and that's okay. We're all gonna go through those times. Maybe in those days, what brings you joy and what is fun for you is to just put on a song and work on improvisation and improvise and be creative and all the things. So that's another area of focus, which is totally fine. That's why in the Singing Insiders, we work from 3 big pillars. We have the technique pillar, where you work on your voice, which is important. But we also have the trust pillar, which is all about cultivating confidence. That's where we're working on nervous system regulation, all kinds of exercises and tools so that you can be confident when you're singing in public. And then we also have the truth pillar, which is all about creativity. How can you sing a song in your own unique, authentic way? So think of it like improvisation, vocal variation, storytelling, emotion. Some days you might find joy in the technique pillar, and some days you might find joy in the truth pillar. For example, does that make sense? So it's a matter of asking yourself that question so that we can keep that fire, that passion that we have for singing lit. Because otherwise, and I've worked with singers as well, where that fire got dimmed. So we don't want to have that. Joy is the thing that makes you grow. Joy is the thing that makes you make progress throughout your singing practice, not pushing through it, not having to check this off your to-do list. Does that make sense? So the shift is really simple. Each practice, just ask yourself, what would bring me joy today? And again, it might be that you want to refine your technique, or maybe it's focusing on something completely different and going to a deep meditation around singing. As long as you come back to what brings me joy. And that is a very different approach than many vocal coaches or singers. Because oftentimes, especially like in our community, I want to say, we're so focused on the doing side of things. You know, when you're working, you have your to-do list and you have to do. And then when we're learning a skill like singing, we tend to do. But what if it wasn't about the doing? What if it was about what is the thing that lights me up? It's our job as passionate singers to protect the things that we love the most. And we need to create this new approach where joy isn't optional, it's essential, really. Because without joy, why are we singing in the first place? Our progress shouldn't come from pressure. It shouldn't come from having to do something and pushing ourselves. It should come from presence and desire. And together, we're starting to create that new norm. So my question to you today is, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the singer that wants to make progress but slowly burns out, trying to do it right? Or do you want to be the one who grows through finding joy and keeping that spark, that fire of your passion for singing alive? If you're choosing for option number 2, then we're on the same page. So how we do that in the Singing Insiders is using our vocal freedom method, because that gives you then variety of things that you can focus on throughout your vocal practice, so that you don't feel like you're not making progress because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do. No, you're tapping into, what do I want to focus on today? What brings me joy and fun? And then doing that will give you the sense of progress as well. So the vocal freedom method is a whole other conversation that we can open up. And I actually recorded an episode talking you through the whole system and how you can use that methodology to sing in public without feeling self-conscious. Yes, technique is part of that, but there's a whole other conversation that we can open up, because singing isn't just about hitting the right notes. It's about having that holistic approach to your vocal development. And that's exactly what the vocal freedom method walks you through. So I would love to keep that conversation going with you. I will link to that episode in the description here down below so that you can go listen to that one next. So click that link. I'll see you in that next episode. And thank you so much for having been here today. I appreciate you. Keep finding the joy in your vocal practice, and we'll talk soon. Bye.